Good evening, everyone. It's 7:30, so it's time for another Facebook Live. Tonight I'm going to show you how I made this card. This is with the Ornate Garden suite, which I've shown you before, but I'll go ahead and show you the flyer again. So it has 2 stamp sets. This is one of them. This is one of the dies sets. It's got some nice edge pieces, and then one that you can cut out and put on a card. All the sentiments you could possibly want to use for thanks, and this lovely paper, which we're using a little bit of tonight. And then this is the other stamp set. This is the ornate style, so it's got beautiful flowers that you can color, and the dies that go with it are these frames. They are just absolutely beautiful. There's an embossing folder that's just got little flowers all over it, real cute. A ribbon set, so it's old olive and terracotta tile, and then these gold gilded gems. So really, really nice suite. This is something that you can get now. It is available for the month of April for anyone, and then it will be in the new annual catalog in June. But some of these dies are already getting low inventory. I did not check today to make sure they were still available. But if you want them, I would go ahead and get them soon. All right, so this is a fun card. I do a technique class with my friend Kay, and we did this thanks like this in the class using our Stamparatus. And so I wanted to kind of play with that and do a card for you tonight doing that. And these are the thank you cards I sent out this week to everybody who attended my class. I think it was last week. Time is kind of strange right now. So, I wanted to show you from the beginning. Let me get this out of the way so it's not too bad of a glare to start off. Well, it's still going to be a little bit. How I did it, how I set it up, so you would see how to do it from the start. So, I have a piece of Whisper White, and I made a little mark on my grid paper so I would know where to put this if I needed to take it up and put it back in there. Put my magnet on there, and I've got my foam piece underneath because we're going to be using the photopolymer. So we're using this Ornate Thanks set, and we're just going to use the word thanks. So what you want to do is take that off and then lay it down in the middle, if you can get it to stay without, so that it's in the middle of the card and then towards the top. And then you just pick it up. There we go. All right, and so on my card, I did the Rococo Rose at the top. So that's the color we'll start with. So I'll take my Rococo Rose, and let me put, when you're using your Stamparatus, helps to put a stamp case or something underneath here. Just gives it some stability as you're inking it up. All right. Yep, you can still see that. So I'm going to ink that up. And I'm just going to stamp it. There we go. Now, when I did this, what we're doing is it's called step stamping. So you take this, and this is one of the beautiful things with our Stamparatus, is you move it down one slot and it'll stamp again. So I'm going to, because I'm going to do the bottom one also in Rococo Rose, just to make it a little easier, I'm going to move it down 2 slots. And I'll have to move my magnet, move it up to the top. All right, so I'm going to ink it up in Rococo Rose again. Stamp that. And the nice thing about the Stamparatus, if you don't know it, is if I missed anything, I could ink it and stamp it again. All right, so that's both of my Rococo Rose. Close this up so I don't get ink everywhere. And so in the middle, I have the terracotta tile. So you want to be sure you clean your stamp, so I've just got my chamois. So I'll just give it a quick clean. Now I'm going to ink it up with the terracotta tile. And now I'm going to put it up one. So it'll be right in the middle of those. There we go. And now you're probably saying, well, wait a minute. We have to put the green in the middle. Yes, we do. So you can see I had the mint macaron in between. So let's clean our stamp again. Whoops, sorry about that. Clean that off real well because you want to be sure you don't have any of that red before you do your green. Okay. We'll put this back up at the top. Now we're going to take our stamp off. Make sure he's good. And you're going to put it in between. So you want to put it equidistant so that it lines up and it looks straight. All right, now we're ready to do our mint macaron. All right, stamp that. Ink it up again. And now we can go down one slot again, and it'll go right between those other ones. And there you go. Take this out, get this out of the way. And that is all the stamping we're doing. So that's an easy way to get a nice series of stamps all lined up like that vertically. You could do the same thing probably horizontally with if you put your if you put this at the top, then you could go horizontally across a piece of paper. So really, really fun thing to do. And I decided to use one of our note cards. These come in a package, and I'm sorry, I should have looked up to see how many and how much it was, but it comes with quite a few note cards, and they come with the envelope. So they're a super quick and easy way to make some thank you cards or any type of little cards. So I'm going to take this piece of designer series paper, and I think the note card is 3.5 by 5. I made this 4 by 4.5. I mean 3 by 4.5, because if you do 3 instead of like 3 1/4, then you can get 4 cuts out of one piece of 12 by 12 paper across. So sometimes I'll do things like that just to get the best use of my designer series paper. And look at that side of it. Isn't that pretty? That's that gold foil. Really pretty. Woo! All right, so we're just going to put this on our card front. And I could have used, I probably should have gotten like a piece of Rococo Rose to mat that with. That would have been pretty. But I didn't think of that until just now, so maybe next time. And then I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to put dimensionals on. I have no nails left, so I probably should have brought my take your pick tool. One of the hazards of not being able to go anywhere. All right, and then we put this, and I put it a little bit towards the top because I knew I was going to put a bow on it. So now I've got some of this, hey Nancy, I've got some of this terracotta tile ribbon that goes with this suite. And so we're just going to tie a bow with it. Try and keep it from turning like that. There we go. All right, and then cut that off. Oops. Stay up here where you can see what I'm doing. And then I just used a glue dot to put that on. And I just put that right there at the bottom of the thanks. And there you go. So that's the one we made tonight. That's the one I made earlier. Nancy, you'll have to go back and watch the beginning. I used the Stamparatus to stamp these thanks on there. Really easy way to get some series of stamps. And you just have to know, how wide your stamp is to make sure it will fit, if you do that stamp. I forgot what they call it, step stamping or step, I don't remember what they called it. But you just have to watch, the size of it. And you could go down to, if you had a bigger stamp, then you could go down to, which would be that big. So if you had a really big stamp. Anyway, it's a fun way to use your Stamparatus and make some cute cards. So thank you for joining me. I don't know what I'll show you next week, but I'll have something fun to show you next week. And until then, have fun stamping. Bye.